Good evening, Professor Gibbons. Have you ever read a news article about a sensitive topic that came to a conclusion too quickly without using any further detail? You may be reading an example of media bias. This heavily emphasizes a particular point of view that disregards any other evidence to persuade the viewers to come to their own opinion or conclusion. The media uses education, watchdog, and socialization are key roles that the media uses to inform the public. But for this, I would like to discuss how CNN and Fox News uses a form of media bias as in a form of photo, sensationalization, and emotionalist bias. The current event in American politics that I would like to discuss is President Biden's solution on the security of the southern Mexican border crisis. CNN and Fox both display a form of media bias to convey to the viewer about Biden securing a tougher border. The Fox News article is titled "President Biden Admits U.S. Southern Border is Not Secure While Defending His Policies" by Greg Weiner and Jackie Henrich. The article is about the increase of illegal immigrants and moving into the United States, and how President Biden is dealing with this crisis with Secretary of Homeland Security. But the introduction of the Fox News article focused mainly on Biden's facial expressions and attitude towards the situation as opposed to the actual problem. The words that Fox News used was confused look to attempt to show levels of incompetence towards the situation. The second news article that uses a form of media bias is CNN. In the article, President Biden sees a tougher border measure as he tries to fend off Trump's attacks, which argues how President Biden is advocating for a stronger southern border while moving away from former Biden's immigration policy. In these two articles, the bias is clearly visible with each of the titles to show a stance on the subject. In the Fox News, they use phrases as admits. The first example of media bias displayed in the Fox News is sensational and emotionalist bias. When the title used the word admits, the choice of words clearly shows that the news outlet held some lasting grudge against Biden, wanted him to admit his fault to spread to their viewers. While the CNN article titled President Biden seizes tougher border measures uses the phrase seizes tougher border measures. And the title emphasizing that President Biden is taking heavy initiative when working on the southern border crisis in the country. The next form of bias is prominent through these two articles is photo bias to implicate the two news articles' opinions on the subject. Fox News uses photo bias to implicate the two new articles' opinion on the subject. The Fox News uses article has a photo and video to display their dislike towards President Biden. In the video, Biden is having a confrontation with one of the viewers to show Fox viewers that he's problematic with interviewers. The Fox News article leads to a more conservative viewpoint when using keywords like unconstitutional. When asking whether Biden thinks it's unconstitutional to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas. The CNN news article leads towards a more liberal using the words like humane, referring to President Biden's pledging of allowing to support the liberal bias when stating individual liberty, equality, entering the country. Now lastly, according to recent study that was conducted on the Straight Arrow News by Simone Del Rosiero, this article states that a majority of Americans believe that media increases division in politics, as seen in these two articles using liberal and conservative viewpoint. 74% believe that the media is causing division in politics, while 6% believe that decreases division in politics, while 18% believe it has no impact. The Fox and CNN articles have clear agendas to display to their audience, whether it is leaning towards a more conservative or liberal standpoint. In conclusion, my research of media bias has shown that bias claims exist in most media through unsubstantiated claims, photos, flawed logic, and sensationalism to show a certain viewpoint to their audience, so their audience believes their source is reputable. This illustrates how new major media sources like news networks affects how information is told to the viewers that convey subtle bias that common viewers overlook. This statement can be supported in the textbook in Chapter 4 titled Political Socialization and Communication Media. This insight is valuable to understand how the media can change viewers' perception of what is true or false. Thank you.